but I didn't prepare anything, so I'll just speak freely if that's okay. My name is Fahiym Hanna. I'm with the Greensboro minimum wage campaign.
Woo! Man.
And I didn't know it, but I was searching for the limit of free speech. Back when we were coming up with ways to raise the minimum wage here in Greensboro in 1982, we sat around the table and talked about what that would mean, and we were free to do so. And then we talked about what the steps we need to do to make that happen. We talked about the petition. We talked about following it and moving forward with that. It took us a year, and we were free to do so. Once the petition was out, and it had the language that we wanted, we talked about, we had it out there, and we went out and petitioned the city. We needed two things. We needed to register people to vote, and we needed those registered voters to sign the petitions. That way it could be on the ballot, so we can decide what the minimum wage here in Greensboro should be. And up to 11,500 signatures, we were free to do so. For the last 500 signatures we needed, and we needed really quickly. And so we went out to parking lots every day for that week. And every day we were free to do so. Up until the last few days. Me and Brian were out at a parking lot at a food line, any random food line. It could have been anything that day. We were gathering signatures, then a cop approached us. He didn't ask us what we were doing. He didn't ask us whether we were free to do so. He didn't ask us if we had permission. All he asked us is why I hadn't shown him my ID yet. He didn't care what my rights were. He didn't care what I was speaking about. All he knew is that I was doing something different. All he knew that my freedom of speech was that dynamic as my responsibility for freedom of speech. And that's all he knew. And that was enough. That was enough for him to put me in the back of a police car. It was enough for him to leave me in that cage for a few hours. And I had to pay for that. I had to pay to go back to court 2 or 3 times, to wait my morning and my afternoon, to wait to even speak about it. And so I reached that limit for freedom of speech, and I had to pay for it. And that's not the kind of freedom of speech I want to pass on to my children. That's not the kind of freedom of speech I want them to pay for, and it's not the kind of freedom of speech I want my taxes to go for.
Right.
And so the minimum wage campaign will continue to speak its mind, and the city should continue to speak its mind. And we should do it here in this park, we should do it in the street, and we should do it in the food line parking lots.
Right.